Or is this full-time MMA now?
High low.
Now pay attention.
Drugs. See your girl in the park. System overload.
This is Mally, you're watching full-time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel-bitch boy, bagel-bitch back.
What's going on, full-time family? It's time to start the show. It is Wednesday, September 5th, and we got a lot to talk about. Today, I mean, it could be a controversial show. I don't think it's going to be that crazy as some people might actually expect because this whole topic we're going to be discussing, we're going to get into that a little bit later, the whole Rose Namajunas situation. I know some people are wanting to talk about that. Her coach actually just came out and said she's still traumatized. Conor McGregor's coach talking about whether or not he might retire after Khabib. We got a lot to talk about, man, but we're going to talk about a lot of that. But somebody asked for us to play this yesterday, and we didn't do it. And just because there might be some trolls around for this video, let's run this for old time's sake. Not that. We're gonna do that a little bit later. Darren Till versus Tyron Woodley. But you guys remember this? It's a motherfucking flashback. This is Troll Village. This is just for those that remember. Actually, I need my headphones. 1 second. Let me see where these are. Oh shit, here we are. I forgot I took these motherfuckers to work yesterday. Alright. But, yeah, so pay attention. This is Troll Village. This is a flashback. Somebody asked to play this yesterday. Y'all remember this?
This is Troll Village, an endless cycle of singing and dancing and hugging. So keep your arms and feet inside the cloud at all times. Seriously, if a troll...
And by the way, for those of you that don't know, Troll Village is where the trolls get sent. They come in, disrespectful, end up getting the stench of the wrench. They get blocked. They get sent to Troll Village where they never return from.
Troll gets a hold of you, they will hug you and never let go.
I can squeeze you forever.
Now, coming up on your right side, you'll see
Kelly.
She's one of those artsy types. And if you look to your left, you'll see
MMA quick tits.
And that's what you'd be seeing if I wasn't your tour guide. Now look back to your right again. Bam! More trolls. You're welcome. Beautiful day.
Nancy.
Ooh, nice moves.
Oscar.
All of these are
Hey,
trolls.
how's that inner peace thing going?
The Beast.
The Beast, Nancy,
hey kids,
Oscar,
stay in school.
MMA talk.
MMA talk. Because you say shit like run the fade, you sound like a little fucking kid, and you act like a baby backyard bandit bagel biting bitch boy. Fuck you, Tab Matt, dude. Yeah, I started in the back, had to skip the line, no. When your fucking shit was whack, it's my fucking time, bro. Yeah, you thought that we would pay you out your fucking mind, bro. Take your shit to Patreon and we gon' say goodbye, bro. Nigga, fuck $20 a month. Rather smoke a $20 blunt, it ain't gon' make me or break me. Come in the comments acting crazy, you don't face me. Ain't gon' block him like a bitch, we ain't gon' block him like a beta. Hit her army over here and y'all at Starbucks sharing bagels, sipping lattes and shit. Oh yeah, and Oscar's a bitch. And the Beast, he a female too. I'm talking about Vegeta too. You rolling with the other side, we sit and watch you fuckers die, drowning in gorilla piss. I know the hitters feeling this. Fuck you, Tab Mad dude, and we just Tab Mad news by the MMA, and we gon' stay even if you come back, dude. Fuck you, Tab Mad dude. Fuck you, Tab Mad dude. Let's go. And no, it ain't over. Aaron Burrell's extended, so I'ma keep going till this thing's over. A troll came at me talking about my karma. Wanna talk about my karma, bitch? Let's talk about my mom. I grew up around them hoes and pimps. That's why I'm so legit. And so no, I won't quit. I'ma open doors with this shit. I'm like John Jones with this shit. I'm a young goat in this bitch, but I don't do coke or hit chicks.
Yo, that was like before anything. That was before any fucking song, anything. So that was for whoever requested it yesterday. I forget exactly who it was, but I was like, oh shit, after we got offline, we didn't run it. So that was a flashback way back in the day. Fuck the other side. Y'all know what it is. Somebody said something, MGK's diss was lit. Yo, that's what I'm saying. That's crazy. I was still in disbelief. I'll catch myself every day since it's happened. Like, what fucking day are we living in? Like, I never thought we would be here. I never thought we would be at this point where, we're not going to talk about MGK and Eminem, man. Eminem's got to come back. He's got to come back. I know a lot of people are expecting him to. Yo, I saw this fucking hilarious video, right? they said Eminem responds to MGK, and they clipped the whole sequence of how it played out. Like back in 2012, MGK dissed Eminem. Now Eminem dropped this song. So MGK dropped the Rap Devil and the song that everyone's talking about where he killed Eminem pretty much. And they were like, Eminem responds, and they clipped the 8 Mile scene where he was choking and he just lifted the mic up and then didn't say nothing, and then put it down, then lifted it back up. Oh, fuck, man. That shit's crazy. But what's going on, full-time family? Let's talk about some news. We actually got quite a bit to talk about today. So let's get to the first topic. Now, this is a question I'm going to pose to you guys, the full-time family. Do you guys think Conor McGregor's going to fight again after Khabib? If he loses, I mean, if he wins, I think that's a given, right? I don't think he's going to beat Khabib and retire like, oh, he's coming back to win his belt. What's he going to do? Come back, win it, and retire? So the question really is, if he loses, do you guys think Conor McGregor will come back? And with that being said, hold on, let me pull up the chat, make sure I got it pulled up so I can read the responses. Yeah, we got Remove Lizards, Webs, PK Vids in the building. Ashish Prashvar, what's going on, full-time family? Forward in the building. Stamina MC, my motherfucking dog. Pinhead, what's going on, everybody? So, yeah, man, the question really that I'm going to ask is, do you guys think that McGregor will fight again if he loses? And as far as his coach is concerned, he says it depends on what fights are available. Conor McGregor's coach, Owen Roddy, he said, I don't know. I don't think he'll retire. I don't look into the future to see what's happening. Conor's mentality hasn't changed at all, so I don't know. I always say it depends on what fights are available, I think, for Conor. As I said, if there's another big super fight and Conor feels like he would enjoy it, then he'll do it. If the fans want it and stuff like that, I think Conor will take it. So you never know. Who knows? We're just going to focus on the task at hand. Now, this is potentially the biggest fight ever. We'll go in and do that, and he'll probably be on the next biggest fight ever. You guys know what the fuck we're talking about. I've spelled it out multiple times now. And, you know, the UFC, GSP, of course, they pulled back a little bit on it. But I've pointed this out. The winner of this fight, Conor McGregor versus Khabib, we've got GSP in the wings talking about wanting to make history and legacy fights. And, you know, if he's going to fight, it's going to probably be for his legacy. And what would be a bigger legacy fight than fighting for a third title at lightweight? And, oh, by the way, McGregor versus Khabib is already like the biggest fight UFC. It's looking like it's going to be the biggest UFC fight of all time. That's what it's. I mean, the world is watching. We all know. I mean, it's not even just. I don't know. Not even just as far as pay-per-views are concerned. I'm talking about as far as the world. Like, everyone's going to be watching this fight, so it could be the biggest fight of all time in the UFC. But what happens when you take the winner of that fight and you put them against another huge star in George St. Pierre, who's coming to fight for a fucking third belt at a new weight class? Whew, that would be huge. And so that's why I say, of course, if Conor McGregor wins, I think he'll stay and fight like that fight. But if he loses, there's still a fight that we want to see as far as the fans, Nate Diaz. That Nate Diaz trilogy is always going to be there, especially if Nate Diaz can come in and get a win over Dustin Poirier at UFC 230. Then we would love to see McGregor versus Nate Diaz, even after all this time. So I think that it might take some time. I don't know if Conor McGregor, you know, comes in and gets mauled. There's a real potential that happens. I don't know if he's going to want to come in and make a quick turnaround. It might be some time, but I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, his coach believes, you know, I mean, he says Conor McGregor's still the same. You know, he's training right now. He's still hungry. And if there's a big fight like now, if there's something that motivates Conor, he'll probably come back. He probably ain't just coming back just to fight whoever the fuck, you know, for not a huge pay-per-view. Like, that's why, like, guys like Dustin Poirier, fucking guys like maybe even Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor really hasn't ever shown a huge interest in fighting Tony Ferguson. The only time he's really ever mentioned Tony Ferguson was like that one GTA post where he put Tony, but he ain't really shown a big interest in fighting Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, none of those guys really. So I don't even know if he would be interested in those fights, you know what I'm saying, if he wins this. And that's why, you know, there's talks of whether or not the UFC will let GSP fight at 155. You know, like, you know, we don't want him fighting there because he's just going to vacate the belt. And yeah, he's done that. He vacated the welterweight belt. He went up to middleweight, won the title, vacated the belt. And you think he's going to stay at 155, keep making that grind to defend the belt if he wins it? I mean, probably not. He's probably going to vacate the thing and go back off into the sunset. GSP's here for legacy. That'd be what he needed. And then who knows? I mean, he could top it all off with the fight against Tyron Woodley. Or, well, if only Tyron Woodley would make sense. I don't even think GSP maybe he would fight Darren Till. But I was just thinking Tyron Woodley's actually been trying to make a case as greatest welterweight of all time. So if like Tyron Woodley like beat fucking Till and was able to, I don't even know if he could beat Covington. Tyron Woodley's time I think is coming, man. I don't know when it's gonna be, and I'm a big fan of Tyron Woodley actually more than a lot of other people, but I don't think his time's coming sooner, sometime soon, man. Every dog has their day, and there's some tough welterweights moving up into the top 5 between Darren Till, Coby Covington, Kamaru Usman. I mean, even if Tyron Woodley beats one, is he going to beat the next one? Even if he beats the next one, can he fucking beat the third one? Like, damn, you know, Tyron Woodley's got a fucking, as far as that welterweight's concerned, there's murderer's row coming up. He already beat a lot of the best guys, and there's more guys coming up. So if he can go on a roll and continue to make his case for one of the greatest welterweights of all time, maybe that would even entice GSP. I don't know. But there's a lot of possibilities. That's why it's a great time to be an MMA fan. And Conor McGregor's going to be fighting Khabib at UFC 229. So we'll see what all happens after that. But there were some people that thought Conor McGregor wouldn't even fight this fight. I mean, there's a lot of people, Conor McGregor's never fighting again. He fought Floyd Mayweather. He's never going back to the UFC. A lot of people that believe that. They still think he's not going to fight. Motherfucker that fights a month away. 30 days. Look at the countdown. 30 days and 5 hours until McGregor versus Khabib and O'Malley versus Quinones. Are you motherfucking kidding me? Let's go. We got 27 people watching right now. 13 thumbs up. So 14 of you could still be biting your bagels, so you could have just forgot to hit the thumbs up button. Do your boy a favor. Hit the thumbs up. It'd be much appreciated. John Taylor, 155. I don't know. He's pretty old. Every dog has his day, says Kevin Inspire. Yes, sir. Oh, hollow full time. I was right. Confirmed. Dan Hooker versus Edson Barboza. Can't wait. Yes, sir. We're going to be talking about that. That is announced. That is a great fight. Charismatic Lemon said, I give props for Conor for even fighting after making bank from the boxing match. Yes, sir. It loses, yes. One more versus Diaz. So, yeah, I mean, he probably isn't going to retire. That's what I kind of came to that conclusion, too, forward. If he loses, he's still got the Diaz fight eventually. If he gets mauled, he probably isn't going to come back immediately. He might take a little more time off. But if he wins, there's no way he doesn't come back. It's not like he's fighting Khabib for $100 million. He's fighting Khabib for, this is personal. This is deeper than rap. On top of wanting to get his belt back and being ready to get back in MMA. But he's not fighting Khabib for some big payday so he can run off into the sunset. This shit is personal. And with that being said, after that, there are those big paydays that you can ride off into the sunset and that would entice you and motivate you to fight again. And those would be maybe a rematch with Mayweather if you can think you can convince all of us dipshits to buy it again. Maybe cut the price in half. I'm down for another big fucking get together. It was a fun event. Had the family over. It was a good time. I mean, I think I even fell asleep for the main event because I made them a fucking mistake of not taking a nap before that boring-ass undercard. But, hey, that was my mistake. Not a huge boxing fan. Didn't take a fucking... I woke up early, didn't take a nap before the undercard, drank some beers, and I was fucking out of it. But either way, it was still fun while it lasted. And so, who knows? You know what I'm saying? That even Floyd Sr. recently came out and said that there's... As far as the Mayweather camp is concerned, in their talks, he believes Floyd's going to fight again, and he thinks it'll be against McGregor. So that's an opportunity if and only if Conor McGregor wins. If he comes out here and gets fucking mauled, I mean, maybe he does get to go to fucking boxing. You know, no, he wouldn't have to. Conor McGregor's not that type of fucking loser. He wouldn't lose and run away, you know, to the WWE. That's just not Conor McGregor's style. I actually think if he lost, he would definitely have to get a win back, and it'd probably be that fight versus Nate Diaz. But yeah, I don't know how much would be there for the Mayweather fight if Conor McGregor came out here and got fucking mauled by Khabib. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking bear. But hey, it is a possibility. But not only Mayweather, GSP potentially if he won. Or even fucking Nate Diaz. So if he wins, he'll definitely be back, I think. But yeah, let's move to the next topic. A few things to talk about here. Not going to be as crazy as you guys expect. You know what I'm saying? Or not even crazy. You might not even expect crazy. But I'm not even going to go in on this part specifically. Because, honestly, I think all of this is going to go away after UFC 229. Just giving my honest opinion. I don't think we're going to hear anything about Rose Namajunas in this bus incident and like this, what seems to be PTSD after this UFC 229. I'm just saying that's damn near a talking point. Like a lot of people, the fact that they were pissed off at McGregor for this whole bus incident, they were really pissed off because Rose Namajunas was shaken up. And yeah, you know, if you care about Rose Namajunas, then yeah, or just any female, like Conor was a jackass that night, and there was a lady on the bus. Now, with that being said, this is all, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it was fucked up. But now, since that situation, it doesn't just seem like, you know, Rose was on the bus when the attack happened. It's almost seemed like she got PTSD, and it's really taken a step further. Trevor Whitman, her coach, I mean, and this kind of died down. I didn't really even think this was going to get brought back up. I actually thought Rose was cool, but Trevor Whitman was on Ariel Helwani's MMA show today, and of course, leading up to UFC 229, a reporter might ask the question, hey, I mean, McGregor versus Khabib's coming up. You know, you're Rose's coach. How's she doing from that whole incident? And he revealed that he was trying to joke around with Rose Namajunas following the bus incident in Brooklyn, and she started to cry. She described the moment the dolly went through the window like a gunshot going off. So she thought, you know, maybe a gunshot went off, didn't know what was happening, you know, with the string of school shootings and just shootings, period, that have been going on lately. You know, it seemed they almost feel like terror attacks damn near, you know, because they're going on so damn often, and it's got people's alarms kind of raised. But with that being said, a lot of our alarms are raised, and a lot of, you know, so with that, and so that's why I was just kind of surprised. Me personally, I was kind of surprised that Rose was affected this much. Now, keep in mind, she doesn't have, maybe she's, like Joanna pointed out in the past, in the build-up to their fight, you know, she called Rose Namajunas mentally unstable. Rose Namajunas has been through a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us. I mean, I know a lot of people that, just me personally, I have too. I know a lot of people that have been through a lot of shit, and actually, a lot of the times that hardens you to shit like this. You know what I'm saying? You actually become able to compartmentalize things, and somebody pointed out, like, you avoid situations like anything that would cause fear, panic, anxiety, all of that shit. You avoid situations like that, and that's what that is a lot of the time. You know, you're just staying away from shit that would maybe trigger something from the past. And so the benefit of the doubt Rose Namajunas gets here is maybe there was something that happened in her past. Who knows? Maybe there was fucking repeated windows shattered, you know, every night, that maybe the window shattered triggered that. Maybe that's what it was. But she just seems to be super affected by that incident. And me personally, it's just almost a little hard to believe at times, but I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal. It is what it is. That I'm not going to stick on it too much, but also not did he just say, like, he was trying to joke with her and she started crying, but and that I believe was sooner after the attack happened, the bus attack. But also, he said she's still affected. She doesn't leave her house. Speaking with Ariel Helwani, he said she doesn't leave her house. It's still there. She doesn't go in public places. When you're in a public place and there's people everywhere, and you're going to be like, oh my God, what could happen? Like, you're involved in the 9/11 bombing. It's going to be hard to be in a city scenario. Every time you get in the elevator, you're going to think of it. And that, honestly, maybe I'm wrong again here. I felt like that was a little too, like, if you're involved in fucking 9/11, like, okay, like, yeah, okay. That's what I said. Like, maybe the issue, and I don't know, that maybe I'm tripping here. Maybe, like I said, I could just be tripping here. That's why I'm not going to go too far on it. And also, like I said in the beginning, I feel like a lot of this is going to go away after McGregor versus Khabib. This is a talking point. You know what I'm saying? This is something that the reporters will ask about. Hey, you know what? Is Rose okay after that whole bust? You know, McGregor's about to fight. So I really think a lot of this is going to, after UFC 229, I don't think we'll hear too much about this. But yeah, man, it came up a little. But one thing I do want to talk about Rose. Not really this. I don't really care about this shit. I'm really over it. It is what it is. I hope Rose Namajunas gets better, and I hope she can recover from that if she's still affected by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, God. And I've also pointed out in the past, like, she's a fighter. Like, I would get it if it was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my daughters or my nieces. But most of the people I know, like, even in the string of going through a lot of shit and being on high alarm through the school, just all these shootings and shit going on, I just don't know how many. This isn't very common. You know, I just would expect that a lot of people have glasses broke on public things. You know what I'm saying? If I just try to put myself in this situation, not just myself, one of my loved ones, my wife, my fucking mom. You know, like, a lot of people have been through some shit, and know about the school shootings. If they're on a bus, I don't really see them, and the window gets shattered. I don't know how long it's going to affect them as much as anything else has. You know what I'm saying? And plus, you got motherfucking Pat Beery. He'll whoop Conor McGregor's ass. Like, you ain't got to be scared of going out. You know what I'm saying? In the end, it was just Conor McGregor. Like, I don't know, maybe a little bit of therapy. Like I said, hopefully Rose gets well from all of that. But not just that. Really, what I want to talk about is this motherfucking #1 contendership going on. And I had to bring up this article. This article is old. This article came out last month. But I was recently listening to the Coach's Show, and one of the ideas that got brought up in CSH Combat Sports, if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you go subscribe there. Great MMA talk, as well as some boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm low-key becoming a casual boxing fan, not just because of that channel. There's like been other suggested channels popping up on my YouTube, just like independent boxing channels. I've been listening to some boxing drama going on, so I know a little bit about boxing. Your boy's coming along. But with that being said, one of the ideas that came up was the fact that Jessica Andrade, who should be the fucking #1 contender, move these rankings around. I get it. Joanna was the queen, but she lost twice, and Jessica Andrade just fucking chicks up. She's the #1 contender. Jessica Andrade has been the #1 contender, and so the idea that came up that Jessica Andrade, if she beats, let me pull up the UFC 228 card just because this is what I really wanted to talk about. Like I said, I don't really give a fuck about that bus situation, man. I just feel like a lot of it's going to go away. I almost feel like it's somewhat, I don't want to call it promo because it can be a serious situation, but I almost feel like it's just got a lot to do with the fact that UFC 229 is coming up. And once it's over, I think hopefully by then Rose will have even, you know, because right now she's taking the time to heal up her neck. I hope she's taking like some psychology shit in the meantime, in between time too, you know what I'm saying, to get this whole bus situation taken care of. Because, I mean, honestly, I feel like they got Rose looking bad out here. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But, so you got Carolina Kowalkiewicz taking on Jessica Andrade, and this should be a fucking title eliminator. And because I'm going to pull up the fighter rankings too, because really, I'm going to, and I'm not even going to go in on this topic like I'm going to if this shit actually comes to fruition. I'm just setting you guys up for what the fuck might happen, and I'm already calling bullshit before it even happens. Before it even fucking happens. Jessica Andrade used to fight at 135. She's made the cut to 115 multiple times. She don't come in here fucking missing weight by 3 pounds and beating chicks up. She's making the damn weight class. So with that being said, you know, some people have, you know, maybe called her a weight bully in the past. I don't think that's the case. To me, a weight bully is someone that fucking can't make the weight, and they keep trying so they can have that weight advantage, a la maybe Mackenzie Dern in her last fight, a la maybe Darren Till, big-ass fucking welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe those people. But I don't look at Jessica Andrade as a weight bully. I just look at her as a girl that used to fight at bantamweight and found the way down to strawweight. If you can make the weight, more power to you. And she's been making the weight, and she's been looking fucking amazing at 115. And in Jessica Andrade's last 2 fights, first, and it's only since her loss at the title, she's only got 1 loss at 115 pounds to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. But other than that, I mean, she had the loss to Raquel Pennington. That was at 135. She used to fight at 135 pounds. And, of course, a little smaller there. She'd probably be even better at 125. And that's why this shit is so crazy. Because Jessica Andrade, recently an article came out where Jessica Andrade is fucking selling her fight gear and baked goods, you know. And she's the #2 contender in the world. And she's selling that for training camp and to make ends meet and whatnot. And, you know, of course, we don't know her spending habits, so maybe she's just super fucking frivolous with maybe she's out here splurging. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing with the money, but either way, that does sound a little crazy when you're selling your fight gear and shit to pay for your training camp so you can fight when you're the #2 contender. And so just keep that in mind, and then, but this is how much things could change for Jessica Andrade. Like, right now, she's selling baked goods and fight gear. But she's a #1 contender. If she gets a title fight, she's going to get that championship pay at least for 1 fight. And, oh, by the way, she lost to Joanna Jędrzejczyk, but MMA math don't mean just because Rose beat Joanna, she's going to beat Jessica. That's a fucking tough fight for Rose Namajunas and for anybody in the strawweight division, as Jessica Andrade has been showing. Jessica Andrade ragdolled and completely dismantled the best grappler, one of the best grapplers in the strawweight division, Claudia Gadelha. Wasn't fucking close. Smashed her, crazy shit, slammed her around. Brutal type shit. It was like, almost like fucking Cachoeira. It was almost like that type of fight, man. And then she went and beat Tecia Torres, 10 takedowns, out, more significant strikes. So since losing the title, she's beaten the top girls in the division. Both Tecia and Claudia are ranked in the top 5. She already beat 2 girls in the top 5. Now she's fighting Carolina. If she beats her, now there's talks that she might have to fucking fight Joanna in an interim title fight. You know how fucking shitty that would be for Jessica? Because she lost to Joanna. She might lose again to Joanna. That would like put a stop to her path to the title, when really, if Rose was healthy, she could be fighting Jessica Andrade. And this is the thing, and that's why I brought up this old article with Rose Namajunas, because this is what she had to say about last month. It's the perfect time now to rehab that and just get better as a martial artist. She said, and to really sit back and see who's the real contender in the division. Right now, I think things are a little shaken up a bit, but there's not really somebody clearly to challenge at the moment. It's like, what? So it's like, she's kind of saying, like, it's a good time for me to heal up, and I believe she has, like, a neck injury she might be dealing with, but it's a good time to heal up because there's not really a clear-cut #1 contender. Meanwhile, motherfucking Jessica Andrade is ragdolling top contender after top contender and fucking selling baked goods and fight gear waiting on a title fight, and she's talking about there's no contender. Yeah, there is. So that raised red flags. And so, honestly, I don't know what's going on with Rose, man. She's the champion now. Maybe she's kind of Hollywood. Maybe she's getting a taste of that championship money like a lot of people do. Before that, Thug Rose came up. She hadn't tasted that championship money yet. She was still hungry. She was still grinding. But now you see this with a lot of people. You get the belt and you start maneuvering a little different. You start getting that championship money like, oh, how can I keep getting this championship money? And so you start healing up from fucking injuries. You know what I'm saying? Rose Namajunas knocked out Joanna in the first round in their first fight and didn't fight again for 5 months after that. And then she fought Joanna again, beat her, and now she's healing up still 5 months later talking about there's no contender. And so, you know what I'm saying? She's getting that championship pay. And who knows? Maybe the fucking bus incident in her, maybe that has something to do with why she's not back in here. Maybe she's still so shaken up, you know what I'm saying? She ain't trying to get back in the octagon. But either way, I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know how signs are pointing. But Jessica Andrade, I will say this. I'm about to move off this topic. But if she beats Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and Rose Namajunas is still saying there's not a clear #1 contender and not coming back to fight, I think red flag's going to be raised. Another red flag. And if Jessica Andrade has to fight Joanna again, I'm calling bullshit. Because, picture this. Jessica Andrade versus Joanna in what, an interim title fight? What if fucking Joanna wins? She's already beat her once. Then what? We got to see Rose Joanna 3 because we had to see Andrade Joanna because Jessica Andrade ain't getting to the title, and I got to give respect to my boy Stamina MC because he does point out the fact that it's not all on Rose at all. It's definitely not all on Rose. A lot of this is the UFC. If the UFC gives you the option to wait out Jessica Andrade, or what if the UFC wanted Jessica Andrade in the title fight, then they might have, you know what I'm saying? The UFC kind of has a way with things. They could also call Rose Namajunas' bluff pretty quickly if she was talking about healing up. You know, we've seen Dana White in the past. Oh, no, she's cleared to fight. He did that to Amanda Nunes, right? Whenever she was talking about having to heal up her ankle and not being able to fight Cyborg, he told Cyborg, no, she's cleared to fight. And Cyborg was like, no, the UFC just told me you're cleared to fight, motherfucker. What's up? She's like, no, we need time to build the fight. So the UFC could call your bluff if they wanted to on the injury, if you were using that to try and stall a fight out. But who knows, man? And maybe Jessica Andrade ain't somebody that the UFC is super interested in pushing. But if you want to see the best fight the fucking best, Jessica Andrade, all I'm saying is should be fighting for the title. That's all I'm saying. If you want to see the best fight the best, Jessica Andrade should be fighting for the title. And check this out. She could go from not only selling baked goods and fight gear to getting championship pay, but she's got a good chance of winning the title. And oh, by the way, Like we talked about in the beginning of this whole fucking rant. She's fought in at 135 and actually had success. She could fight at 125. So, imagine Jessica Andrade being the 115-pound champion. She's a legit challenge to Valentina Shevchenko, champion versus champion. She would be going from fucking selling baked goods and UFC gear to a champion versus champion fight. She wouldn't even have to sell no more of her Reebok shit or her fight gear. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the different route she can go on. Like, there's two forks in the road. Either she's going to have to fight Joanna and potentially kill all of her momentum, or she can fight Rose, potentially beat Rose, challenge for champion versus champion at 125. Like, Jessica Andrade's career trajectory could go in two way different ways. If she fights Joanna, that's going to suck compared to what the potential of what she's actually earned. A lot of people don't like talking about what you deserve and what you earn. Fuck that. Jessica Andrade has earned a title shot. That's all I'm saying. So, that's really what I wanted to talk about too, as well as that whole bus situation. Let's see what the full-time family's talking about. Kevin Esquire says, I saw Andrade highlights. She is a scare good. Yeah, she's scared good. She's very good. She got the nickname Mini Cyborg because the way she's fucking girls up. Cyborg herself called her Mini Cyborg. And shit, we know Cyborg's the most feared woman on the planet. And lo and behold, Jessica Andrade, you know, you got the champion talking about, I don't see a clear #1 contender right now. Gary Kendrick Jr. said, these fans are unforgiving with short-term memory. I'm part of it. I can't even lie. Who the hell is he even worried about John No Bones Jones at this point? I think Jessica can beat Rose, real talk, but styles make fights. She very well could. That's what I'm saying, you know. Yeah, Rose Namajunas did beat Joanna twice, and Joanna did beat Jessica Andrade, but MMA math doesn't work that way, and Jessica Andrade has been looking fucking great as of late. Forward says, GDR, as previously stated, is a rare example. Most cases, the situation is being heavily overhyped. Yep, she earned that name. Yeah, she definitely earned that fucking name. Jessica Andrade is a beast, so yeah. Just touching on that situation, I'm just preparing y'all for it, full-time family, because if she beats Carolina at UFC 228, and she's got to fight Joanna, that's going to be some baby back bagel biting bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It is, but hey, that would, if you were, let's say you were fucking Rose Namajunas' team and you were trying to keep the belt and the championship paid for as long as possible, you know Jessica Andrade is broke. You know what I'm saying? You know she's going to have to keep fighting. So if you're taking the time to heal up from injuries, eventually she's going to run back into Joanna. And guess what? You're kind of in the clear. So if that happens, hey, we'll see. Coby Covington, I just saw this, man. He's ripping Nike's ad featuring Colin Kaepernick. I don't even get into this whole Colin Kaepernick shit. I mean, I know, of course, everyone knows what happened, but recently he got a Nike ad, and it said, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. I mean, this dude, like, sacrificed his NFL career to take a stand. It looks like he got blackballed out of the league, and I completely saw that. You know, what was happening to Colin Kaepernick, he's definitely better than a lot of the quarterbacks in the league right now, so he could be playing for the league. But I heard on YouTube a clip of the Stephen A. Smith show, and a caller called in, and he was fucking heated. He was like, what the fuck is going on? Why do all these people not realize that the owners don't want to hire Colin Kaepernick? Because when you hire Colin Kaepernick and he starts kneeling on the sidelines, half of your stadium empties, and the owners they want to sell tickets. When you hire Colin Kaepernick, you stop selling tickets because the fans start boycotting the national anthem, him kneeling, and so they're trying to sell their fucking tickets. It's got nothing to do with being racist. They're trying to keep the fans in the stands. He also pointed out it could be divisive in the locker room. Another fact is that fucking, what's the other thing he said, man? He made a lot of good points that made me reconsider. I was like, okay, he actually made some valid points. So there's two sides to every story. But the other one was, let's see, he said, I don't know, I'll think about it. But either way, Coby Covington's ripping him. Man, I really want to think about that third point he had to say. Oh, yeah. Fucking, goddamn, I'm having a brain fart right now, dog. Israel A says September 5th going to be more lit. Oh, shit, man. All right, I'll think of it in a second. Either way, this is what Coby Covington had to say. He said, I grew up in Oregon and was around Nike my whole life. It's funny watching a company that uses child slave labor overseas to make their products all of a sudden become humanitarians. Pat Tillman is an NFL American hero. Kaepernick is just a spineless sack of shit. Hashtag Nike boycott. So, Coby Covington's on the opposite side of this stance. He's on the whole Make America Great Again side. And it really feels like there's two sides. You know what I'm saying? There's the Kaepernick side and the opposite side, which is it feels like the people that don't agree with him kneeling. And so it's a whole situation I'm not getting into because it goes from sports to political and all of that shit. But either way, Coby Covington does make a good point. I will give him that. And I mean, as far as he says Nike, he said that they use child slave labor overseas to make their products and all of a sudden becoming humanitarians. They are kind of just capitalize on this situation. Yeah, they are giving Colin Kaepernick an opportunity to make money now, but so they're making money off of the shit too. They're kind of just capitalizing off of this. So I mean, they ain't really fucking being humanitarians here. They're really capitalizing on it, but it does look good, of course, for them. But hey, but yeah, man. Let's see. Gary Kendrick Jr. said, "What's up, Tay Tay? I see you in the building. Shout out to Coach. Oh, what's up, Tay Tay Brown? Tay Tay Brown. She in the building. What's going on, Tay Tay?" Stamina MC said, "Coby Covington can die in a fire." Says Stamina MC. Not a fan of Coco. But yeah, man, I just thought that was interesting. Coby Covington's little response. I didn't even have this on the bill for the show. I just saw it before the show started and said, a little interesting. So, yeah, we'll move on from that topic. Another one that I just added to the bill before the show. Why Cub Swanson is okay with random famous people like Logan Paul showing interest in the UFC. And what immediately came to my mind is because he needs to fight one of them motherfuckers. And Cub Swanson could use a match with Logan Paul or CM Punk right about now. You know what I'm saying? He's riding a 3-fight losing streak. He needs to get a W. So that's what I thought he was going to say. No, I'm just playing. But this is what he took to Twitter to say. Personally, I like when random famous people want to fight in the UFC for two reasons. It usually brings in many new eyes to our sport, and it quickly reminds people that there are many levels to this. All I ask is that they stay on the prelims. Hey, well, you're asking too much there. If motherfucking Logan Paul, he just did great business. And like Dana White said in the past, whenever you sell as many pay-per-views as Brock Lesnar or CM Punk, you can take their spot on the pay-per-view. But until then, let us handle the business. So yeah, that's asking for too much. You got to take the good with the bad. You like the eyes that they bring to the sport? Well, motherfucking like the eyes that they bring to the pay-per-view as well. They're still bringing eyes to the sport. They're still showing interest in the UFC. But like I said, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Forward says, "Damn, Stamina, the fire doesn't deserve that." That's fucking funny. What's going on? Hey, someday said, "My cousin died in Afghanistan. I don't care if kneeling is okay. If you don't stand, you can fight me." As I said, that goes two ways. And, that's another thing. That's the other reason that the caller said, why they might not want to hire Kaepernick. Not only could it be divisive to the locker room, and not only will it make people not stop coming to the games. A lot of people fucking stopped showing up, buying tickets to the games, not buying their season passes and shit, because they didn't like seeing that shit when they came to the games. So why would an owner want to bring that to their team? But the third thing that he pointed out is if Colin Kaepernick has a bad year, if anything happens on the side in the locker room, it's divisive, or even if he has a bad season, he can fucking blame the coaches, call them racist, and people are going to run with that shit. So he made a few good points there. That's why I said there's two sides to every story, and I'm not getting into that shit because that spills into politics way too quick. 27 people, 28 people watching right now, 24 thumbs up. If you haven't yet, if you're finished biting your bagel, do your boy a favor. Throw me a thumbs up. Throw Coby off this goddamn flat earth, says poor thinking chill. Yo, that's fucking funny. But yeah, man, so Cub Swanson cool with Logan Paul coming over, and I'm sure, hey, he might even take the fight. Yo, I've got my hands together. That third reason is COD shit. FT, yeah, the third reason, not as much. The way he put it, clearly, I don't have the same words. Nah, he can't just, that doesn't sound good. Like, if he just has a shitty season, fucking, he'll blame them for being racist. Like, oh, they're fucking racist. But that is just a point that he brought up. But for sure, he was more eloquent with it, and the way he was very passionate with how he was saying it. But the first two reasons still, you know what I'm saying? That is true. If you fucking bring him in, you do kind of risk you know, the people that are going to buy their tickets. But maybe now he's garnered enough support to where the people that wouldn't buy their tickets, the other people who support Kaepernick will buy the tickets. You know what I'm saying? So two sides street. Tay Brown says, smash that like button. Do your boy a favor. Thank you very much. Mr. Perfect 2005. I just told him full time. Okay, well, shit, I appreciate it, Mr. Perfect 2005. Got my fucking Birdman hand rub going on. Let's motherfucking go like it's 2020 right now. Sage Northcutt versus MVP. Let's go. What are you talking about? Sage Northcutt to Bellator. Scott Coker, cut the check. It's time. Sage Northcutt told Ariel Helwani he's a free agent and that his friends, Rory McDonald and Lyoto Machida, are making double or triple what they made in the UFC. Damn, son. Now, and that might not necessarily just be Bellator cashing them out their fight purse. Like, here's $1 million. But they get sponsors in Bellator, amongst other shit that you can't do in the UFC. Also, going to Bellator, you immediately become one of the bigger stars of a budding organization. Bellator, even though they've been around for a little while now, they're starting to become one of the premier leagues. I mean, goddamn, at the rate we're going right now, they could surpass the fucking UFC, you know, 10, 20 years. The UFC's letting big names go, fighter morale, fan morale. A lot of people ain't really fucking with a lot of stuff the UFC's doing right now. The new ownership and stuff. Meanwhile, Scott Coker's looking, he got great as far as fanfare is concerned. People fucking, you know, the fighters are happy. The fans got their sponsors. You don't ever hear the fighters complaining, which makes the fans go, okay, well, shit, if you're treating the fighters right, let's fucking do it. Shit's going right, you know what I'm saying? So Bellator seems like they're doing everything right. They're even picking up all the big names the UFC lets go. And honestly, for guys like Sage Northcutt, you have a better, I think you got a better fucking chance. You could for sure make more money in Bellator, but also have a better career possibly in Bellator at this point, because we see MVP, like one of the knocks against him is he doesn't fight the highest level competition Bellator has to offer, but that's because Bellator is not as stacked as the UFC. In the UFC at welterweight, you got like fucking 25 killers and maybe 5 guys that are falling off, you know, that you can kind of throw at somebody to bounce back. But you don't have many fucking warm-up fights. You don't have many cans to crush, per se, in the UFC. And so when you're a fucking Sage Northcutt or even a CM Punk, there's not really any fucking gimme fights. There's not many of them they can give you to hold you over, to keep getting you wins and keep you successful. You know, you got a lot of potential. The Sage Northcutt looks like a fucking human Ken doll. He looks like a human Super Saiyan. Looks like he's already on the box of fucking Wheaties, and he's not yet. Like, super marketable. Not even just the way he looks, by the way. His personality. I don't even think he cusses. Like, super innocent. Like, just super fucking marketable. Goddamn, you get the point. So in the UFC, it's kind of hard for him to, you know, operate, because there's so many killers. He's moving between lightweight and welterweight and lightweight and welterweight, and he's only getting bigger. So it's kind of hard to make the lightweight cut, and so now he's a free agent, and Bellator would be a way better place for him. Shit, Sage Northcutt could fight every opponent that that MVP fought. He could fight every opponent that Michael Venom Page fought. Fucking all of those dudes that we gave Michael Venom Page. Let's just see Sage Northcutt fucking flex on him. Come in there and kick some motherfuckers in the head. Maybe he'll crack somebody's skull. And then ultimately get put in the welterweight Grand Prix where there ain't no more running. But you get the point. And then not even that. The fucking potential matchup with like Sage Northcutt versus Michael Venom Page. That's almost a fucking welterweight super fight. 2 karate dudes. Ain't got to worry about no one getting taken down and laid on and nothing like that. That would be a fucking fight I would love to see. And so the fact that Sage Northcutt is a free agent, that would be a huge grab for Bellator. And also, his friends, Rory McDonald and Lyoto Machida, he's seeing how much they're making. Hell, Rory McDonald, I think he was fucking sponsored by Bitcoin at one point. I don't even think Bitcoin gives sponsors, but you get the fucking point. He's got shit going on. Rory McDonald's in it for the money over at Bellator, and he's making a lot of it. They're paying out right now. And so if you can be one of the potential faces of their league, like a Sage Northcutt, they could promote the fuck out of Sage, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if Sage can be a champion at Bellator. They do got some killers over there now in the top 8. I mean, you can see the welterweight Grand Prix going on. I don't know how Sage would do against the damn Rory. Well, that's his friend. He probably wouldn't fight him, honestly. That's one of his friends. But there's still a lot of top guys over there. I mean, I would like to see him versus Paul Daly, him versus MVP. But you got the Limas, the Korshakovs, the Wards. I mean, all these other guys in the welterweight tournament. Neiman Gracie. There's a lot of good welterweights now over at Bellator. Lorenz Larkin. But not as many as the UFC as far as killers. So I think Bellator would be a fucking great fit for Sage. All Pro Limited says Stylebender needs to gain weight and go up. He looks like anorexic John Jones. One of his weight cuts, he came in at like 183 pounds, so he's not a huge middleweight. That's why Darren Till versus Israel Adesanya has to happen. I would love to see that fight in 2019. Darren Till, win or lose, could potentially be going up to middleweight. And even if he wins the title from Tyron Woodley, he said he wants to earn his stripes at middleweight. So he could fuck around, win the title from Tyron Woodley, make one stop, fight Israel Adesanya before jumping up to fight like Whitaker or Gastelum. Yo, if Till wins, shit's gonna get crazy in the UFC. It's just being mixed. The Stylebender makes weight every time. Oh yeah, he definitely doesn't have a problem making weight. Stylebender had better beat Brunson or hang his head in shame. Yeah, man. If he could very well. He's got a fight coming up at UFC 230, Madison Square Garden with Derek Brunson. A lot of trash talk, of course, going into that fight. He might fuck around and get humbled like we've seen. That's been happening a lot lately. I mean, a lot of the just because you can trash talk don't mean you can fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's never been the case. Then everyone can't be Conor McGregor because you got to back it up. You can't just, well, Chael Sonnen was able to kind of talk trash and still lose some fights and keep it up. But that's still a little different. You know what I'm saying? If you're not winning, it's not going to have the same effect. Forward said, no doubt stamina. He's responding to stamina. Anyone watching Tough later? Is it on today? I'm definitely going to watch it. I watched the first episode. I caught up on it. Yeah, what time's it come on? I'll definitely be checking that out for sure. And you can catch the episode now after on YouTube. I've seen someone uploaded it, so heck yeah, man. The first episode was actually pretty good, and I didn't even think about it until I watched the first episode. It's the biggest and baddest men and women on the planet, well, in the UFC, because the women's featherweight's the heaviest weight class for women, and men's heavyweight, the heaviest weight class for men's. So it's the two heaviest classes for each gender. Where can we get some full-time fact shirts from? What's FAK, fact shirts? Where can we get some full-time fact shirts? I mean, the Teespring campaign might have ended. I'll have to make a new design and put a new Teespring campaign up. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, that campaign might have ended. It was only a limited time on Teespring. So, actually, yeah, there might not be anything available. I'll have to make something else. The last Tough Knock, that Tough Knock last was clean. Oh, yeah, that big-ass dude, like, with the lazy eye. Honestly, from, like, he was drinking and shit on the episode. You know what's crazy? Was it that? Yeah, I wrote down notes like I was going to do, like, a Tough recap, and then I decided against it. Like, I'm not going to fucking recap all of these. I'm shadow banned anyway. It's really not worth it. Like, 50 people are going to watch it. I'm writing notes for every episode and all of this. So I didn't actually do that. I'm just going to watch it and enjoy it instead of making it a fucking task. But, yeah, man, it was definitely a good episode. It's just BMX says from the googly-eyed dude. Yeah, but he was, like, drinking and shit. He seemed, I didn't know what, he was, like, knitting. He, like, knitted hats. He was, like, a big-ass giant dude that likes to knit. He was drinking, like, every morning, like, just a little bit. He wasn't getting drunk or nothing, but he was taking a drink, took a couple shots. Hey, another thing about the first episode, like, tell me that chick didn't want the D. I don't give a fuck what no one says. Like, the butch chick with the white chick that he was sparring with. Bro, I wish I could pull it up live and shit to show you guys what I'm talking about. If you were watching, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. She wanted the D. For one, when they were sparring, like at the end, you know, when you spar, sometimes you give each other a pat on the back, like a hug sometimes. She tried to come in close for the hug, but he wasn't even thinking about that, so he didn't try and do the hug. But for one, I noticed that in the beginning. She tried to go for that hug. It didn't cross my mind. And then later on, she happened to be the one getting him a shot. Like, hey, want to take a shot? And so she tell me she wasn't trying to get that motherfucker drunk. You know, he took another shot. I'm just saying. That was just what I got from watching the video. She wanted the D. Fuck what the haircut tells you. She wanted the D from the Jolly Green Giant and shit. Watch when Jessica beats the living shit out of her and she looks in the mirror and she will really be traumatized. Yo! Oh my god. My nigga's crazy. Sam Montezuma. I wasn't ready for that. Woo! Hey, where can we get a full-time fam shirt? I'll have to make a design. Like, I'm having to be like, man, when you're a YouTuber, you do a lot of different things. But I have to figure out, like, you mean like one that says, like, full-time family? I'll get one like that. Or do you mean just one with, like, the full-time MMA logo? Let me know what you want, and I'll try and make that for you. She wanted the D, says Lolita Davidich. Thank you. I'm telling you, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. She wanted the Brahma Dog, said Israel. And she definitely wanted the Israel 8, you don't. Sam just came in on 100 G's. Yes, damn, the mic guy came in on 100. Like your logo. Okay, yeah, I'll re-put the logo shirts out, and I'll let you guys know when I do that. But yeah, it probably expired. They're limited time. I think the max you can do is like a 21-day campaign. So whenever I put them out there, you only have 21 days to get them, and we got to make new ones. But yeah, I'm him says, sounds like she wants Yadong D. I can make shirt templates in Photoshop. Hey, if anyone's a graphic designer out there wants to make some cool designs for us to put on t-shirts, feel free, because I'm far from a graphic designer, but of course I'm becoming one, like I'm becoming a video editor, an audio editor, all this shit you figure out, you know, in the process of making these videos and stuff. So I'm figuring some shit out. I just figured out how to, like, make the background transparent and put it on the shirt. So, but if you want to do that, that would also be super dope. Make some shit, send it to me. Throw those on shirts. But yeah, man, Sage Northcutt to Bellator, that for sure. I would love to see that. This is a topic right here I actually made a video on, you know, one of the separate independent videos on, but I haven't got to put it out yet. Well, I'm going to put it out after this live stream later today. Leonard Garcia challenged Diego Sanchez to bare knuckle, and Sanchez apologized. Completely changing his energy, not keeping that same injury at all. Diego Sanchez is not keeping the same energy. He is not at all. He was calling out Cowboy and all the, you know, gung-ho, Team Platinum Perry, taking the new guy's side, repping Jackson Wink. Yeah, whenever Mike Platinum Perry can't make it to the fight, I'll be there to step in, motherfucker, you know. And had the whole shit for Cerrone. But now that Cerrone's boy is stepping in, Diego Sanchez is reconsidering and changing that energy. But with that being said, Leonard Garcia, he trains out of the BMF ranch and considers Donald Cowboy Cerrone a brother. So he posted this picture, loyalty over everything, BMF ranch. Don't usually say much on social media, not really my cup of tea. Watching all this gym thing, Jackson Wink and Cowboy Cerrone unfold, it sucked because I saw it build all the way up and then fall into this mess. I saw Diego Nightmare Sanchez get on and say things to Cowboy, didn't sit too well. So here's what I have to say, Diego. I respect you, always have. Thought you were a little crazy, but hey, we all are a little bit. Let Cowboy and Platinum Perry handle their business. That's signed and dated. I'm sure they can hash things out without anyone chiming in. If you feel like you have to get involved, then I'm sure World Bare Knuckle Boxing Federation would give us free reign to get whatever it is off our chest. Cowboy has a brother that will always be around. No disrespect, just saying, retired but not expired. So Diego Sanchez, you know, he issued the challenge, like, don't pick a fight with Cerrone. For one, you motherfucker, like I said, man, I feel like Cerrone kind of getting fucked over. He almost feels like he's getting sabotaged. Because for one, now he's probably going into this fight pissed off, which that he's never, in the history of Cowboy, he usually doesn't do good in fights where he's pissed off and his opponent's under his skin. He's a lot more success when he's in there having fun. And they're training his opponent to whoop his ass. Like, hey, Cowboy's weak here. Cowboy's weak here. Motherfucking do this to him. Knock his shit. Like, complete Cowboy, it does kind of seem getting fucked over here. You know what I'm saying? If I had to choose a side, I'm kind of leaning toward Team Cowboy. Even though I do fuck with Mike Platinum Perry. I mean, I don't know the rest of these dudes, so I fuck with Perry and Cowboy. But in this whole gym situation, Cowboy's kind of getting the short end of the stick. But there's two sides to every story. And Diego Sanchez helped paint the other side of the story when he came out and said, yo, Cowboy, you never helped me train, and like the whole time I've been here for decades. You know, you were selfish. Just because you made, like, you know what I'm saying? He came out and backed up Jackson Wink and some of the claims that he made that Cowboy was selfish and didn't really help everybody in the gym and only worried about himself. And so you kind of were like, okay, well, we got to stay out of this, because what Diego Sanchez had to say, he backed up Jackson Wink and was on Team Perry. He was like, why do you think I'm Team Perry? Because Perry's actually comes in and helps us train and gives us rounds. And so he was all Team Jackson Wink, and even went as far to say if Mike Perry gets injured, he'll step in to fight Cowboy. But now, completely changed his tune. He said, I got emotional. You're right. Perry and him will settle it. I know Cowboy is like your brother. Well, Chad is mine, and so is Wink. There's always two ways of looking at. There's always two ways of looking at it. All this drama sucks. I shouldn't have responded emotional either. But you're right. I am still crazy, but at least I'm wise enough to publicly say, look, I took it too far. I'll man up on that right now. I see both sides, and it's MMA, it's family, and business. But what first, Wink has $40,000 a month in overhead at the new building. It's a business. Ask Dana White. So now he's kind of even giving more credence to Cowboy's side. Like, yo, choosing Mike Perry over Cowboy was a business decision. They're choosing money over loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Cowboy's been there for however long. And see, this is the thing. If you don't know the details, that some of the details that came out. So Cowboy Cerrone, he does pay Jackson Wink. He does pay Greg Jackson, but he doesn't pay Mike Winklejohn, because when he came over before the merge, he was with Jackson. He was a Jackson guy. So if I'm already just paying Jackson, just because you two motherfuckers want to merge and make a big gym together don't mean I'm going to start cutting you a check. I'm paying Jackson. I'm grandfathered into paying Jackson. By the way, I don't even train with you like that, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like the way you fucking hold pads. Why would I pay you? You don't do shit. For me, at least for me. You know what I'm saying? If you corner me, I'll pay you for that. But I'm not going to just pay you a monthly fee just because you merged. And so now you got Winklejohn, who needs to pay this $40,000 a month in overhead, and he needs the money. He's like, well, Mike Perry's going to pay us both, so we'll get more money if Mike Perry's here, because if you're here, I don't get shit. I got bills to pay, so I'm not going to kick out my money. So he's choosing the little bit of money for Mike Perry right now, and this is the thing, right? Mike Perry could have just left for this one training camp. He could have just went somewhere for this one fucking camp. Go to American Top Team. Hey, just for this camp. Cowboy's here. He's been here for decades. It don't sound right. We don't feel right. We're going to be loyal. We ain't going to fucking train you to whoop your teammates' ass. Just for this camp. And then you come back and we'll get that Mike Perry money. We'll train you. You pay us. And everything's all good. But they decided to damn near kick Cowboy out the motherfucking gym because Mike Perry might be paying a little bit more. Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And so Cowboy went off on the Joe Rogan podcast. And that's where all of this came from. But you see Diego Sanchez now, he kind of changed his energy. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of reconsidering and letting us know it's a business thing. And so that definitely puts me more on Team Cowboy as well. So, you're choosing money over loyalty as far as this Cowboy situation, which you weren't saying that in the beginning. What's up with all this in the beginning? And I get it. It is a business. Like ask Dana White. It's a fucking business. You do got bills to pay. I completely get that. But you should have said that in the beginning. What the fuck was this? In the whole decade that I've been here, you never gave me no round. We never trained together as long as I can remember. And Mike Perry, I'm Team Perry for a reason. And you should have said something about that $40,000 in overhead in your whole first fucking rent, homie. Not after you got called out by his brother. Because now it looks worse. It's like you called out Cowboy. A lot of people might be looking at Cowboy like he's damaged goods. Like, I'll fight Cowboy. Oh, but you don't want no smoke with Leonard. Or maybe just cooler heads prevailed. Either way, the Jackson Wink fucking Donald Cerrone beef is going to come to a head, I believe. Hopefully they can get it behind them at UFC Denver. But really, this isn't Mike Perry's beef. Donald Cerrone and Mike Perry, this isn't Mike Perry's beef. This is really Cerrone versus Jackson Wink. Donald Cerrone even said it really ain't got shit to do with Mike Perry. That was kind of just like the straw that broke the camel's back. It's really, so even if he does win or lose against Perry, we'll see if he can mend his relationship with Jackson Wink, even if he wants to. He's got the BMF ranch now. He's going to get his own coaches there. He'd probably put his own fight team together there and not turn it into a damn puppy mill. He'd probably rather do that anyway. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, Diego Sanchez apologized for that whole situation after being challenged by Leonard Garcia. It is what it is on that. And somebody said, it's their fault for putting themselves in such a financial situation. Exactly, too. Who the fuck told you to move into a fucking new building that costs so much? So now you got to kick out Donald Cerrone. Like, that's not Cerrone's fault. You shouldn't have planned on his money. Like, so I mean, and also if you got all these fucking bums coming in off the street, that should be paying your bills. Ain't like yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with Cerrone. I'm still on Cowboy side. Just JW seems like a snake. King Colby sipping on nerd tears, said Jack Jones. And this would be bad for JW. Shows they can't be trusted. Yeah, like, it's never a good sign, at least for your team. Like, that could happen to anybody. So you're telling me, like, let's say Holly Holm. Let's say she was going to fight Cyborg again. If Cyborg pays more than Holly Holm, you're going to fucking kick Holly to the curb so you can train Cyborg to beat Holly because you got to pay your overhead? Like, any of these guys, you're going to kick out, you're going to choose money over all of your fighters? Like, how the fuck does that help the team? Like, that doesn't feel like a team atmosphere. That doesn't seem like it's good for business. Because you really can't trust your fucking team at this point. Hey, full time, you're putting on a great show. People recognize great content, and you have great content. You will get up there soon. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it, Pinhead. Much appreciated, man. Stem MC says, not feeling JW. Their energy is wrong to me. I know, man. I agree. I don't like the energy they're putting out either. I give them the, of course, the two sides to each story. But after everything that's came out, I'm leaning toward Team Cowboy as well, And I even like Mike Perry, but the rest of it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about the rest of it. This whole other shit, training him to beat Cowboy because he pays you, like, yeah, I'm not fucking with that. But either way, we got a heavyweight contender, Curtis Blaydes, venting on unappreciative fans, Brock Lesnar, and the changing of the landscape in MMA. Curtis Blaydes, just, a guy that's reluctant to embrace the entertainment aspect. He, of course, wants to become the champion and wants to be able to feed his family, but he doesn't want to have to talk trash to get big fights and sell the tickets. But honestly, that's almost like an oxymoron. If you want to, feed your family, like, if you want to do it the best way possible, right? If you want to make, I'll just say not if you want to feed your family, because of course they're not going to starve if you don't do this, but if you want to make the most money possible for your family, then you should embrace the entertainment aspect and not be so stubborn as to say, no, I'm not going to sell a fight just because I don't like that shit, or I'm a martial artist, or I'm respectful, or whatever the reason is. I mean, you can take that route, but you're just going to make less money. So if you're in it for the money, that's just a way to get more money. Quick way, you ain't even got to be the best trash talker on the mic. Say some shit on Twitter. Sell a fight on Twitter. Come out here and say some shit. Take one of Derek Lewis's lines. We ain't going to care. Say you're coming to get revenge for motherfucking Africa. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting revenge for you selling my people into slavery. You know what I'm saying? Use some shit, Derek. Either way, just selling the fight, man. It's not about changing your character. It's about putting more butts in seats, making more people watch the fight. The more tickets you sell, the more money you make, the more followers you gain, the more opportunities you get. It's literally just that fucking simple. You want to become bigger, promote yourself, market yourself, and put butts in seats. And a great way to do that is to sell your fight. So, but this is what Curtis Blaydes had to say. At one point, the sport was based off meritocracy, like who you beat and how you beat them and all of that. But it's not about that no more. I've realized that, and I'm not going to harp against it no more. It is what it is. I'm an adult, and I can accept things that I have no control over. I just accepted what it is. Eventually, the belt will be mine, and once it's mine, other fighters have to beat me to get it. So it doesn't matter who they get to challenge for the title. They can get me whoever they want to get me. If they want to give me Brock Lesnar, and I have the belt, that's easy money. If they want to give me another random star like Greg Hardy or whatever, that's easy money. Once I have the belt, it doesn't matter. I got news for you. They ain't going to want to give you neither one of them motherfucking fights unless you win 5 fights in a row or something, and they're just coming back if you ain't selling fights. If you ain't willing to sell a fight, you probably ain't going to get the big name of the big opportunities. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get to fight the mega stars and the big names if you're reluctant to sell a fight. And like Stipe Miocic, he was only going to get the Brock Lesnar fight because Brock was coming back before he fucking retired one way or another. If Stipe could have beat DC, he would have been fighting Brock, but it's not like that's who, you know what I'm saying, the fans were clamoring for. It would have just been a good fight because he was the heavyweight champ, arguably greatest of all time. So yeah, you can go that route, but that's the long route. You'll probably have to get 3-4 title defenses. You ain't just going to get thrown into a huge payday that you could use for your family and shit and for yourself if you're not willing to embrace this entertainment aspect. Because yes, this is a sport, but at the same time, it's more so a business and more so the entertainment business. So with that being said, He said, I want to be here. This is the best way for me to improve the future of my daughter. The world revolves around money, and if I have more of it, I can make her life better. And this is the best opportunity to do that. I won't get this money being a police officer or being a teacher or being whatever. This is the best way, so I'm going to go out there until my skills deteriorate. These are just my opinions. It's like if a police officer pointed out something he feels is bad about his department. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to be a police officer. It just means he feels whatever he pointed out needs to be fixed. That's all I'm saying. The statement about the fans, I should have prefaced it with the casual fans. I know there's a lot of fans who are educated. They understand the dangers we're putting our bodies through in order to provide them an entertaining bout. But then there's a demographic of fans who, they don't give a shit. They don't. I don't think that makes me evil for pointing it out. If you don't agree, you don't agree, but that's my opinion. This is a combat sport, so health is always going to be on the line. I just wish a lot more fans were a lot more appreciative. I mean, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. That's something that my grandma used to say. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. That's the nature of the casual fans, and that's the sad reality of it if you're a fighter. Yeah, I know you wish it was different, but that's just the case. Casual fans, they're only going to tune in when something piques their interest. Like, what? Curtis Blaydes said, what about Francis? Oh, okay, I'm tuned in. Casual fans aren't the daily mixed martial artists, the people that are watching the sport to actually pick up on the skills. These are the people that are just tuning in to be entertained. And when he said, like, I want to be here because it's the best way to improve the future of my daughter, the world revolves around money, and if I have more of it, I can make her life better. He said right there, if I have more money, I can make my family's life better. What's the best way to get the most money? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, you kind of have to make that compromise. So he is one of the guys, even before this article came out on social media, I remember him saying, like, I'll never, you know, like, I believe he said, compromise who I am just to sell a fight, or not in those exact words, but something along those lines. He's just one of those guys. But there's a lot of fighters like that that are reluctant to this entertainment era, and you can understand that, but it'll be interesting to see if they actually, a lot of them come around, or if they just, because in my opinion, it's stubborn at this point. If you don't at least do a little something to sell a fight, it's hurting your own career and your own potential earnings. So you can take that path, but it's kind of like you're running your head into the wall. If you do that, not only does it bring you more money, but you get closer to the belt that much faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you want to be in this sport, you don't just want to be in here to fight a bunch of dudes and keep fighting dudes for fun. That's not why a lot of people are in it. They're in it for money. They're in it for money, or they're in it to be great. They're in it to be a champion. The path to money, the path to being great, and the path to being a champion all revolve through being entertaining. Unless you go the hard way and you want to fight fucking 10 dudes in a row, you can do that. But that's going to be, you know, on your, put some wear on your body as well as whatever the fuck else. So we'll see if people continue, how long this mindset continues. Of course, there's always going to be fighters reluctant, because if you've heard Curtis Blaydes' interviews, he might not be the best trash talker. But like I said, there's managers for that. There's social media for that, you know. So we'll see what happens. But just an interesting topic. At work, rolling this silverware. What up, John Doe? Where you working at, brother? A Someday says Darren Till just said he's at 182 right now. So he's still got to cut fucking 12 pounds in like 4 days. That might be doable, right? Depending on how his weight cut's going. Damn. I like Curtis Blaydes. Yeah, I like Curtis Blaydes too. I think he's got a legit future and a potential to be a heavyweight champion. He's young, 27, 28 years old, great wrestling, dangerous already. I mean, he could definitely take that road, and he could beat fucking 5, 6 guys in a row. He could do that, but that's just the harder route, and you know what I'm saying? Instead of just talking maybe a little bit of trash. But hey, everyone's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's not comfortable with it. Tom Riddle said, how many seconds does Khabib make it versus the left-hand god? Oh, shit, man. That's a good question. How many seconds? I think I'll say more than 15. I'll say more than 15. Or more than 13. He'll make it longer than Aldo. That's my bold prediction. Israel A says, Till versus Weight Watchers. Book it. Till versus Adesanya. Book it. Just move up a weight class, man. If he fucking misses weight here, it's on the UFC. The UFC put him in this fight. It ain't on Darren Till to say, no, man, I don't know if I can make the weight. Like, The UFC says, hey, man, we got a title fight for you. Check out the contract. And he looks at the pay, and it's more than he's ever made in his fucking life. And he's fighting for the title. What do you expect Darren Till to do? Say fucking no? It ain't on him for taking this fight. UFC knows he missed weight, and they put him in this fight. So if he misses weight, man, fuck it. We'll be watching an overweight Till versus Woodley, and that'd be crazy if he actually wins and misses weight. But that's a situation that could happen. We could be set up for that. So, I mean, I will say this. I know this makes the weigh-ins that much more interesting. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be all watching, like, is he going to make weight? Is he going to make weight? Just BMX says Till in a KFC bucket. I know he needs to be the next one hit. Daniel Cormier's got the cake and chicken song. Kelvin Gastelum's got the whack version of Despacito. We definitely need a Darren Till fucking food and dance song. But UFC standout Kevin Lee feels reassured after training with good people, BJ Penn. Reading that headline, my first thought is, I hope Kevin Lee wasn't training with BJ Penn like, oh yeah, man, I'm better than I thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? But this is actually what he's saying. He said, meet them, they're cool people. We sat on the mat and talked for hours after. He's good people. He's like, I'm in Vegas. He's a fan. He's like, you're a fan of me? I was kind of weird at first, but then getting to roll with them, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It gave me a lot of reassurance that what I'm doing is right. It's working. So he took a picture with BJ Penn, and is that Dewey Cooper, the dude that trains with Francis Ngannou? Yeah, that's his coach as well, Dewey Cooper. Kevin Lee getting some training in with BJ Penn this week. It may not be the first thing that comes to your mind, but for my money, these two tough in different styles, the best back takers to touch the octagon at 155 pounds. Hey, man, but Kevin Lee will definitely take your motherfucking back. He's shown that lately. He's the type of dude, set up his wrestler. That's what I like about Kevin Lee. Regardless of the trash talk, I know some people get tired of that. One of the things I do like is he's a very well-rounded fighter. Now, of course, he's got the potential to get clipped and do the stanky leg as we saw versus Edson Barboza. But other than that, he's a pretty dominant force at lightweight, which is one of the most stacked divisions. He's got solid stand-up, great wrestling, and great jiu-jitsu. He uses his striking to set up his takedown, shoots for the takedown, and once he's down there, he don't just hold you down. He fucking takes your back and chokes you out. Uses his stand-up to set up his wrestling, to set up his jiu-jitsu. What the fuck more can you ask for in MMA? So, that's one thing I do like about Kevin Lee, and he's great at doing that. He submitted Michael Chiesa and a lot of people in the same way. Taking their back, lock in the body triangle, fucking rear naked choke, you're done. But yeah, so training with BJ Penn, getting some rounds in at the Performance Institute likely, and hey, he's reassured. Now, like I said, I don't know what he needed to be reassured about. Maybe that fight with Edson Barboza he was coming off of, you know, where he got clipped. Maybe he was like, man, can I take a shot? So I don't know. Maybe, I mean, he looked great in that fight other than that. I mean, that fight with Edson Barboza should have reassured him, if anything, after that loss to Tony Ferguson, that tough loss. But shit, he even looked good in that fight. Kevin Lee came into that fight with the staph infection and had Tony Ferguson mounted and in trouble before ultimately getting submitted. So he hasn't been looking like, even in his loss, he ain't looked like trash. He submitted Chiesa, had Tony Ferguson in a bad spot with staph, mauled Barboza, finished him in the fourth, if I'm not mistaken. The only mishap in those whole situations is the stanky leg, and of course ultimately being submitted by Ferguson. But he ain't been. He don't really need to reassured. But either way, speaking of Edson Barboza, Dan Hooker versus Edson Barboza is booked for UFC on Fox 31 in Milwaukee. I don't know which Pettis brother, but this card is made for them, man. Anthony Pettis or Sergio Pettis. They're both fighting on McGregor versus Khabib. They're both fighting on the same night. One of them's going to be fighting in Milwaukee. They live there. That's where they're from. Like, I just see that as like the Pettis MMA town almost. And so whenever I saw the UFC was going to Milwaukee, I immediately thought of the Pettis brothers. And that's just a side thought. It's a lightweight fight, too, right here. So, I mean, shit. I mean, I wouldn't be... And Pettis also talked about being on the Milwaukee card. He didn't think he was actually going to be getting a fight with Tony Ferguson. That wasn't planned. He was going to meet with the UFC, talk about his next fight. They offered him Ferguson. He took the fight. He don't even like to fight on the same card of his brother, but that's a huge opportunity. Fight Tony Ferguson in this return fight. UFC 229, co-main event of McGregor versus Khabib. But he said, shit, I thought that I saw that Milwaukee card, I was going to be fighting there. So that's a lightweight fight. So if Pettis does get an opponent for the Milwaukee card, Anthony Pettis that is, then we would have another dope lightweight fight on this card between Barboza and Hooker. this is actually a really good fight. Dan Hooker, I believe, 3 or 4 fight winning streak, knocking everybody the fuck out, and knocked out Jim Miller. Who did he knock out most recently? It was his most impressive win, I think, for sure in my mind. Let me look up Dan Hooker, UFC. We got 4 fight winning streak, 3 KO TKOs, 1 submission. Most recently, Gilbert Burns, Dorinho. So yeah, Dan Hooker, man, not fucking around at all. He's a dangerous fighter. Fight with Edson Barboza. Edson Barboza may be the more experienced striker, but Dan Hooker actually has 25 pro fights to. It's not official as a whistle. It's not announced here, so I have to look up Edson's. But I don't think he's still as experienced as Edson. But either way, this is likely somebody could very well go to sleep in this fight. It's going to be a fresh matchup for Barboza, who don't have to deal with the damn relentless grappler. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been having to, he had to fight Khabib. Then he had to fight fucking Kevin Lee. It's like, damn, dog. You know, he's getting thrown at some of the best wrestlers of the division, which is not a great matchup for Edson Barboza. He's got the potential to stand up and knock you out, as he almost did to Kevin Lee. But once you get him on the ground, it's bad news for Edson. But Dan Hooker's not going to be looking to out-wrestle and wrestle-fuck him or take him down and smash him like chicken, nothing like that. He's going to be looking to knock his ass out. Dan Hooker coming off 2 first-round KOs in a row over Jim Miller and Gilbert Burns. Been looking great. I know he's teammates with Israel Adesanya. So, that's, you know, they've just, both of them, everyone over there at that camp, they've been having a good run. We'll see if he can keep it up against Edson Barboza. Going to be the biggest fight of his career. If Dan Hooker wins this fight, hell, he's moving into the top 10 of the division. So, yeah, man, it's going to be a good fight for sure at UFC Wisconsin or in Milwaukee. Fat Ninja Flip said, missed y'all, family. How's it going? What's going on, Fat Ninja Flip? My motherfucking dog. We got 35 people watching. Do your boy a favor, hit thumbs up if you haven't yet. Don't be a baby back bagel biting bitch boy. Webb's PK Vid says, finally Edson can use his Muay Thai, but Dan is crazy good. Exactly. Finally gets a stand-up matchup, but it's not like it's a fucking, it's definitely no give-me fight. He can definitely still get his eggs scrambled in this matchup. Knocked out in the first round. That's a real possibility, too. This is a great matchup right here. Fat Ninja Flip said, true, he's a killer striker, just not a wrestler, but he'll elbow a hole through you. Dan training with Stylebender would help for Edson. No, yeah, they already are training partners. They are training partners, so he's been training with Stylebender. But a few more things to talk about. This is something I saw. Flash Entertainment used to own 10% of the UFC. They've now sold it to Endeavor, which is, of course, WME-IMG. The E stands for Endeavor. So they already bought, you know, a majority of the UFC from the Fertittas, of course, and Dana White. But now it looks like they're coming to take the whole pie, you know what I'm saying? They got the 10% from Flash Entertainment. It says reported at the time between $150 million and $175 million. Sold its stock to Endeavor. Maybe Flash Entertainment's trying to get the fuck out of here. They're like, yo, y'all came on, y'all are letting all these stars go. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Maybe Flash was like, it's time to go. They're about to invest in Bellator and shit. Maybe they just wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all let Rory go? What y'all let? I was a huge Gegard fan. What are y'all doing? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But Endeavor bought the last 10%. The deal was reported Monday by Arabian Business with the quote from Flash CEO John Licorice. Any relation to like the candy licorice? Maybe not. A source at UFC confirmed to MMA Fighting the story was accurate. No sale price was released for the purchase. Endeavor had purchased the majority interest in the UFC in the summer of 2016 for Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta, the majority owners, outbidding a number of investment firms and television networks, with the sale price tag giving the company a value of $4 billion. At the time, Dana White noted that Flash did not sell its stock, but expected, or at the time, Dana White had noted Flash did not sell its stock, but expected that at some point it would happen. Last year, Endeavor purchased the 5.8% of the company that Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta had retained in the initial sale, selling the stock price valuation at $5 billion. Now, recently, you know, they did have that ESPN deal, so you might think that, you know, it might not be a good time to get out of the UFC business, because they're still, even though from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like they fucking know what they're doing, at least the new owners. It doesn't seem like that. I mean, just because, like, I don't know, you can't really put your shot or nothing like that, but there's a lot of shit going on in the UFC that's got fan morale, fighter morale down, but the thing that they have done, though, is get this ESPN deal struck. And that's kind of like what we're holding on to. Like, we'll see what that does for the sport. But other than that, man, yeah, the UFC hasn't had the best morale of fans. Like, we're like, what's going on, man? What the Bellator's coming through looking like the saving grace and shit. But that's the one thing the UFC does have. Starting in 2019, they're going to be on ESPN. That's a big opportunity for them to be on a lot of new faces, a lot of new TVs, you know. So, yeah, that ESPN deal's coming up. White just recently claimed that with the new television and streaming deal with ESPN, the company was now worth $7 billion. If Endeavor did value the company at that price, the Flash Entertainment percentage would be worth $700 million. Although even if the value was at the level of last year's Fertitta's buyout, that would be a $500 million, a sizable profit for an 8-year investment. So they bought it 8 years ago for about $150 million to $175 million. And they could have turned that into like $500 to $700 million. Yeah, pretty good investment for them. You know, get in, get out, bada boom, bada bang. Got some motherfucking cash. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? None of us are really fucking business gurus here. We don't give too many fucks about that. Just WME owns more of the UFC now. They already own this shit though. But Gleison Tibau, the Khabib killer. Ooh, did I say that? That slipped out. That slipped out. Gleison Tibau to return to the undercard of Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell 3. Holy smokes. What if they actually started marketing that? Like, what if Oscar De La Hoya came out and said, we've got the only guy to beat Khabib? You know what I'm saying? Oh, that'd be crazy. But it is a pickup. Gleison Tibau, I believe he's like 40 years old, if I'm not mistaken, past his day. But USADA's not going to be over there. Gleison Tibau, to be fair, say what you want to say about his Khabib fight. He did not look like he was playing by the rules. I'll say that. He looked jacked in there, and whatever the fuck you want to say. So he's also looked different since USADA's been around. So with that being said, USADA's not going to be in Golden Boy MMA. Maybe Gleison Tibau comes back to his old ways when he was out here fucking beating everybody. Well, not everybody, but he beat some of the best in the division. Well, actually, he lost that fight. You get the point. He beat some good fighters, though, before USADA. I mean, Gleison Tibau is definitely a veteran, got a lot of fights in the UFC, been in a lot of wars. Control Buster said, what up, fam? But yeah, Gleison Tibau is going to be coming to Golden Boy MMA. Talk about that in a second. Control Buster in the building. What up, fam? I'm at work looking crazy as hell because I can't watch the live show with you guys. Be blessed, family. Well, maybe you can catch the replay, brother. Tom Riddle said, Ortiz versus Chuck, need to give it up. Hey, man, if like I said, like, you know, kind of like the same thing. You can't blame Darren Till for accepting this shit. If Tito Ortiz and Chuck, let's say Oscar De La Hoya, because, you know, he's just trying to spike the UFC for trying to get into boxing, and he's pissed off that Dana White got the deal done with Mayweather, and they, you know, came over and made all that money, and he didn't get a piece of it. So now maybe he's trying to step on Dana White and the UFC's toes. Also, there's talks of Zuffa boxing, and he's like, okay, you motherfuckers want to come over here, get this boxing money. Now you are even talking about Zuffa boxing. I got something for you. How about Golden Boy MMA? And so what if he decided to overpay these guys? Hey, Chuck. Hey, Tito. Boom. $1 million apiece. Y'all trying to get down one time for the one time? Fuck it. If y'all saw each other in the street and someone said something crazy, you'd probably get in a fucking fight anyway. Why not do it in a cage for $1 million? And Chuck Liddell, who's got fired after the new owners came around and they started trimming the fat and cutting a lot of salaries, and a lot of employed people got cut out. Chuck Liddell was one of the guys who had a salary from the UFC, and he was some of the fat that got trimmed. So he probably could use that $1 million that Golden Boy MMA might be throwing to him. And so that's a way Oscar De La Hoya kind of sticking it to the UFC by putting that fight together. But yeah, it's not going to be the most competitive fight in the fucking world, but it'll still have some interest. And now you're starting to get some more UFC vets like Gleison Tibau on that motherfucking undercard. I didn't expect that, but yeah, man. Gleison Tibau is going to be on the undercard, it looks like. I don't know if he has an opponent yet. Says it's going to be a great show, Tibau told him. I'm still feeling weird after more than a decade in the UFC. Everything's so new after years under the UFC brand inside the octagon. It's a new life now, a new cage, a new division. Everything is new. I can't wait to show that I still have it. I can't wait to show what I can do without USADA. I'm sorry, that's what I heard. I can't wait to show that I still have it. Yo, Gleison Tibau's about to come in here fucking jacked, dog. Fuck what you talking about. Testosterone, all that shit. Ain't no problem with that. You know, a lot of people's doctors are recommending that shit anyways. As long as it's not against the rules, Do your thing, Playboy. So we'll see how Gleison Tebow does over there. Who's his opponent gonna be? But yeah, man, shit. He honestly, he fits the age bracket for this card as well. A lot of the guys that were around watching Chuck and Tito, they saw Gleison Tebow in his heyday. You know what I'm saying? All around the same era a little bit, maybe Tebow a little after or before. But yeah, man, he'll be on the show. That'll draw some interest from a UFC vet. But yeah, it would be funny if they came out like, fucking, we got the only guy to beat Khabib. I fuck with this channel heavy says I'm him. Man, I fuck with the full-time family heavy. What's going on, I'm him? Stamina MC says, you'll get shouted all the way out of this chat talking like that to Tom Riddle. Appreciate it. Shout me out, you old pickle and the booty-looking boy. Tom Riddle, ain't that like Voldemort's name or some crazy shit? Wasn't that his name in the book? Didn't he turn out to be like Tom fucking Riddle? Shout out to motherfucking Tom Riddle. What's going on, you fucking baby back, bagel biting, booty, pickle, bitch boy? You know what's going on. What's going on? Going with the stench of the wrench, though. Stamina MC looks like he's already raising that motherfucker. Say something else. Say something else. Charismatic Lemon said Chuck versus Tito is the battle of the senior citizens. We got the, speaking of the battle of the senior citizens, we got the battle of the battered women. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But Jessica Rose Clark and Andrea Lee have had their spats with domestic abuse, and Andrea Lee more recently. And now they're going to be squaring off at UFC on Fox 31 in what's going to be a great female flyweight fight. Andrea Lee's actually still going through a situation with her, most recently, her husband, Donnie Arian, of course, the domestic battery or violent situation that happened with them. He's still on the run, I believe, and shit like that. So that, you know, she's kind of still dealing with that. She's dealing with it privately, and not, you know, we're going to respect her privacy, but she's still dealing with that. You have to wonder, is that going to affect her fight camp? Now that she's got a fight scheduled, it's kind of hard as a fan to not wonder what's going on with that situation, because is it going to affect her fight? That's some personal shit going on. You see some fighters like Megan Anderson took quite a bit of time off because she was dealing with personal issues, and some people don't believe that. They think she was ducking Cyborg. But either way, personal issues. Joanne Calderwood took, I believe, like a year off. Sometimes these girls or even guys need to get their shit together and take some time off from the sport. So it'll be interesting to see if Andrea Lee can stay tunnel visioned. Meanwhile, the fucking cops are out here looking for her husband, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that situation not affect her fight camp. I mean, you would think this would be a good distraction to get your mind off all the bullshit. Like, man, I'm just coming in to fight. Fuck everything else. Now I got an opponent. I got a date. I got something I can focus on instead of all this bullshit going on the home front. So it could work both ways. But she's taking on Jessica Rose Clark, Jessie Jess, who's coming off of that loss to Jessica I. But other than that, man, she was undefeated in the flyweight division, Jessica Rose Clark. She had the win over Paige Van Zandt. She had another win in the flyweight division. I forget over who off the top of my head, but I mean, she lost that fight to Jessica I. Jessica I, though, was a former bantamweight coming down, of course, and so you know, that size advantage could have helped her out in that fight. You know, she's used to getting hit by heavier girls and shit like that. You know, that's always the case a lot of the time with the bigger fighter. But hey, man, it was a good fight. Jessica I got the W, and now Jessica Rose Clark's coming back in to take on Andrea Lee. I don't know who's going to win this fight off the top of my head, man. It's going to be a good scrap, though. I know that much. Both these girls can take a punch. It's not even a joke. They just can. We just know they can. And I'm not even saying from a dude. I'm just saying, like, they can take a punch. They're down to get in scraps. You've seen it in their fights. You know Jessica Rose Clark's down to fight. I became a fan of Jessica Rose Clark in her UFC debut when she fought Beck Rawlings, who's now the queen of bare knuckle. But they were damn near friends coming into the fight. Jessica Rose Clark took the fight on short notice, motherfucking against a friend, fellow Aussie, let's scrap. And she came in there, even though they were cordial, and was thrown with intention. You know what I'm saying? Thrown with dangerous intent, throwing her strikes, having fun in the fight. So I'm a fan of Jessica Rose Clark's fighting style. Andrea Lee, of course, she's got a lot of potential in the flyweight division. So that's going to be a good fight. Stamina MC says Jessie Jess was a bantamweight too. Okay, I didn't know she was before coming to the UFC. She was a bantamweight? Okay, well then yeah, no excuses. Well, I'll still say this: Jessica I was a UFC bantamweight longer. You know what I'm saying? She was fighting in the UFC at bantamweight. She wasn't winning all of her fights, but she was still fighting better competition, you could say, since she was in the UFC at bantamweight. Donnie Arian, well played, full time. Well played. I don't even think I did that on purpose. Like, that time, I've thought about that in the past. But, yeah, man, Donnie Arian, fuck it. That's what we're calling him. Andrea KK Lee and Donnie Arian. It's not a division if a girl's in the UFC, right? It's not a DV if a girl's in the UFC, right? Chill, Tom Riddle. Chill. I think it still is. But yeah, speaking of that, just on that situation, speaking of Donnie Arian and Andrea Lee, UFC fighter Andrea Lee's husband, Donnie Arian, might be hiding at an MMA gym. The police came out and issued this statement, and I just thought I'd bring it up since she got a fight booked recently, you know, ties in with the last subject. The police had to say this, though. I don't know if people understand that there are consequences to that. If they're intentionally harboring this man, that's against the law. You can't do that, and I would certainly hope that wouldn't be the case. He said, you can't run from this forever. We're going to find him eventually. And so, yeah, he's still on the run, and there may be reason to believe that he might be hiding at one of these MMA gyms. You know, he is a coach and shit. He does have friends. And actually, he's got people that kind of knew this was happening. If you remember the original report, it was Andrea Lee's best friend who called the police, and she said there was, like, a dude that she tried to, like, say, like, what's going on? He said that this happens all the time. So, in those situations, I can speak on this because I know I've seen this so many times. I know so many domestic violence incidences between my aunts and it's not always, every domestic violence incident isn't one of the ones that calls for a sad song. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes, and it's not funny when people get taken to jail, but a lot of the times shit just goes overhead and literally the people are cool the next day. Like, yeah, they got crazy the day before, but they're cool today. They don't want no police to come out. So I've just seen it a lot of the times. But what I was going to say is, I forget because I just fucking had a brain fart. Oh, yeah, a lot of the times the friends, yeah, the dude has to go on the run. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the police gets called, the dude leaves. But a lot of the times that actually works, though. The dude, you know, don't really have anything to worry about. He'll have like a warrant out sometimes. But if the chick doesn't go to court, he doesn't have anything to worry about. That's how it plays out a lot of the times. Dude will be on the fucking run until he's supposed to go to court or whatever, or until the chick's supposed to go to court. She won't go to court. He'll get the warrant lifted, and they're good. So we'll see what happens. Like, I'm not going to dig too far into it because, of course, we're trying to keep that shit private in this time. So it is what it is. But motherfucker might be hiding out at the gym. That's what it's looking like right now. And Andrea Lee has a fight booked against Jessica Rose, so she's got a way to keep her mind off the bullshit. So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, that's really all we got for the show today, aside from UFC 228's coming up. We know it's headlined by Tyron Woodley and Darren Till. We got Nico Montano and motherfucking Valentina Shevchenko. Just in case you ain't know, quick to beat a bitch if you ain't know. Ain't no way to win, so come and get your face rolled. I'm going to have to do a whole... I was thinking about doing a Nico Montano Valentina song. I might do that. So make sure you go subscribe to UFC Yankovic if you haven't yet. We're at 799 subscribers. Go be 800. Be that guy. Do your boy a favor. Hit the subscribe button over there. Trying to get it to 1,000 subscribers. That's one of my ultimate goals. I need a second channel to 1,000 subscribers. That would help a whole lot. So it doesn't cost you anything. If you got the time, look up UFC Yankovic. Hit subscribe. You can find a lot of fucking cool UFC parody songs over there. Like Darren Till vs. Tyron Woodley, the motherfucking Fifi remix that we're going to use to close the show, full-time family. Gadea versus Ansarov at 231, though. What in the actual fuck? Whoa! That's official. I didn't hear about that. Now and later said full-time Taco Bell Wani Onde Esta Voce. Hook up the Patreon, Bego Que Paso. Are you on Patreon now and later? If you are, shout the fuck out to you. But I don't know if you are yet. But link is in the description if you're trying to find it. But Stamina MC just dropped a bomb on us, so we aren't closing the show out with Fifi yet. Still subscribe to UFC Yankovic. We'll play Fifi in a second. We might have some news. Gadea versus Ansarov. Now that's crazy. Now, ooh, it's announced. Okay, yeah, I didn't see this whenever I get slated the show. So, yo, Amanda Nunes said, motherfucking Nina Ansarov's going to be the strawweight champion. Is she on the way up or what? I don't give a fuck what you say about where Nina Ansarov was a year ago or 2 years ago if she didn't look like championship material. Training with American Top Team is something fierce. They are not a puppy mill. They are a motherfucking wolf fucking den. Like, men and women at American Top Team. It ain't no, you ain't training with bums off the street. You're training with other fucking elite level fighters, the best coaches. They got, you know what I'm saying, the funds to where you ain't got to worry about all the outside shit. You ain't got to worry about a lot of the drama. You come in, you focus on being one of the best fighters in the world, and a lot of them become that. Amanda Nunes, Joanna Jacek, Tyron Woodley, Colby's now an interim champion. So many fucking guys that are elite coming out of American Top Team, and girls. You got Kayla Harrison now over there. In just 2 pro fights, she's fucking looking like a world beater. And then I say all that to say, Nina Ansaroff is, of course, going to be continuously improving while training at American Top Team. And even if she wasn't ready to be a champion fucking a year or 2 ago, she's working on getting that good. She's training with Joanna likely and Amanda Nunes. She's probably fighting Amanda Nunes at home and in fucking training. You know what I'm saying? They probably got a headgear in the, you know, just in case they don't feel like driving to the gym. Like, what'd you just say, bitch? Oh, yeah, lace up. You know what I'm saying? They get down. You're like, and so what? Nina Ansaroff's getting better. She's not. Don't count her out of this fight with Claudia Gadelha. Just because Claudia Gadelha has been one of the top 5 fighters, one of the best grapplers in the strawweight division, she didn't look amazing against Carla Esparza or Jessica Andrade. So this might be a closer fight than you think. We'll see what happens, but this is a fucking great fight. Shout out to Stamina for putting this on the map. Now, later said Woodley wins via decision. I'm giving the edge to Woodley too now and later. I'm giving the edge to Woodley too, brother. Stem MC said, whoever got Rocky a title shot out of nowhere is waving that same magic wand for Nina right now. Heaven help Claudia if she doesn't decisively win this one. Yo, that's what I'm saying. Don't count her out, Stamina. Don't count her all the way out yet, brother. Heck, Cookie Monster beat her. That's what I'm saying. Cookie Monster, I had Carla winning that fight. And by the way, if you're a betting man, you might want to throw a fucking couple dollars on Carla Esparza. I really wanted to talk about this, but she might lose this fight. But these odds are fucking ridiculous. Let's just talk about it for a second, full-time family. Betting, what's it called? Best fight odds. Look at these fucking odds, dog. You're gonna tell me that, and yeah, Tatiana Suarez has great wrestling. She could very well win this fight. But these odds, she's just. Okay, now the odds are coming down. Finally, people are putting more respect on her name. But she's been the biggest underdog on the card, damn near, aside from, you know, as far as females are concerned. At one point, she was a bigger underdog almost than fucking Nico, but that got bet down. I mean, Nico, yeah, Valentina's getting bet up. She wasn't that high at first. People are definitely, Valentina's way up to minus 1,300 now. So the odds have changed a little bit, but Carla Esparza, man, she's been the underdog multiple times and she's came out. But also, you got to take in mind if it goes to decision. I don't know if if the judges don't like the way she look. I don't know what it is, but you know what I'm saying. She's lost a couple split decisions now, but since losing the title, that's really all she's lost. Her only losses were split decisions, and I feel like she's the more experienced fighter in this fight. For me, these odds are just crazy, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Suarez is likely going to out-wrestle her, but I would imagine Esparza likely has the better jiu-jitsu. And what if she's able to fucking keep the fight standing? She probably won't for a long time either way. Suarez is going to get the fight to the ground. But Carla Esparza is a crafty veteran, man. So I really think there is some noise to be made. I'll just say this. If Carla Esparza comes out and win, I wouldn't be totally surprised. And with that being said, these odds just seem fucking crazy. But that's why this card is going to be good. Not just because there's a lot of underdogs, which means girls are getting counted out. I mean, Jessica Andrade versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz, I honestly thought Jessica might be a bigger favorite in that fight. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to win you some money on Jessica Andrade and fucking Carla Esparza here. Who knows, man? Make sure you check out Patreon for that full-time betting advice. Fuck around and win you some money. We started with, yo, full-time family, let's just chop it up for us. Oh, yeah, I got to stop talking about this. Damn, I'm trying to get unshadow banned. I'm just going to say this to the motherfuckers that listen, and hopefully it ain't the wrong people right now. We went from $500 to $12,000. Y'all don't know. I'm about to save up some money. We're going to turn that shit into a real money bankroll. It's going to be fucking, we're going to be in there like swimwear in the future. Peep this for the odds. Twitter, Fight Manix. All right, I'll pull that up real quick. Fightonomics. All right. Let's pull up this right here. Based on the current betting odds for UFC 228, both incumbent champions are underdogs. But there's a stark contrast between the two title fights. One has massive chalk, and the other is about a dead even pick'em. Yeah, both champions slight underdogs. I swear to God. And honestly, when it first started, Darren Till was a bigger underdog. But it seems like there's a lot of people putting money on Darren Till. And so, you know, the odds are going up. Now it's almost a pick'em. And with that being said, man, let me see the motherfucking odds for Tyron Woodley. Go underdog. I might have to make a new episode. Like, the odds are getting better. Like, if you can actually bet on Tyron Woodley as an underdog who's a fucking proven welterweight champion, and you're betting against some guy that's not even proven he's beat a top 5 guy in the world yet, that's just good odds. I don't even give a damn if you want Till to win. You might even not like Tyron Woodley. But you better fuck with your boy and put a small bet down. What are you talking about? That's good money. I need to just start a whole betting channel, bro. One of these days, man. One of these days. Pinhead said if Joanna takes B more L, she moves out of strawweight. Yeah, if she takes another L, ain't no getting that motherfucking belt back. Well, actually, maybe she don't. Maybe she does, maybe she don't. Honestly, what's a strawweight for you? An ass whooping from Valentina? I mean, yeah, you can go up and get that whenever you want. But I think she wants to get the belt back first. But I say, the only reason I say maybe she don't is because she's got the history in the strawweight division to where even if she lost another fight, all she would have to do is win one more and she's right back in the conversation. Even if she lost to, let's say, Jessica Andrade, if they had to fucking fight, which would piss me off, in an interim title fight. Even if she lost that fight, all she would have to do is beat, like, Tisha Torres again, or the winner of Ansarov versus Claudia Gadea, and she's back in the mix. You know, we're going to need another person to fight for the title after Andrade, and then probably be Joanna. She's right back in the mix. So we would see what, you know, I had to see what happened. But, yeah, I mean, she could definitely move up to 125. But, got another question before we get out of here. I dream about her taking one more L Pinhead all the damn time. Tom Riddle said, you think Cyborg would be able to take a shot from Francis? Yo, Tom Riddle, what a question. I don't know. What do you mean? What do you mean by take a shot? Do you mean would she not get knocked out? I don't think she would die. I think she could take it like any man. Any man would get knocked the fuck out. Any woman would get knocked the fuck out. You get punched from Francis, you're getting knocked out. It's just that, you know, if you just let him punch you, you're going to sleep. So if that's what you mean, no, nobody can take a shot from Francis. I'm out. Peaceful time. Always a good time. All right, thanks for coming through. Exist BMX. We're about to shut the show down. Thank you guys for coming through. But, of course, we got Darren Till versus Tyron Woodley coming up this weekend. Motherfucking Nicki Minaj and 6ix9ine, everybody's favorite artist. I'm just kidding. Fifi, the remix from your boy UFC Gankovic. Make sure you go hit subscribe. Be that guy. Be number 800. Let's play this as we get out of here. And we'll be back tomorrow. We do this every weekday, full-time family. Let's go. Why is it not playing?
Darren Till's a bit fat, he can't make weight, and he's probably fucking racist, so I have to cave his face in. I'ma beat this motherfucker, he shouldn't even be in front of me. Got pushed up to the top, he want my spot, so now he's gonna meet a beast. I'm the chosen one, I hit like a loaded gun. That right when I throw you done, one strike and he's on the run, and I'm coming for you. Yeah, I'm coming for you, booger eating motherfucker. You could put roids in your boogers, but you still couldn't beat me, cause I'm one of the greatest and you can't see me like Stevie. And yeah, I'm coming for greatness. If they want to try me, come test me. And that's for Nick and Nate Diaz, Colby, you're even GSP, because I'm ready. And don't come in heavy, little bitch. I don't really want no friends. I don't really want no friends, no. I said I don't want no friends. I said I don't want no fucking friends. Tyron, why you crying? Long as I make weight, we're finding. We will fight this weekend. We will find if I'm as weak as you say. But I do say if I win, then no excuses. No 30% bullshit like your boy Kamaru Usman. You're the champ right now, but we both know that I'm the future. Gorilla Smash 2018, Booger Bash 2018 is the movement. UFC 228.